All right, we are live on Facebook and we're live on Instagram. I am going to be joined today by Leanne, who has now done 17, not one, not two, not three, 17 Ironmans, and she's preparing for Kona at the end of this year as well. So I would love her to share her story with you and just give you a little bit of insight into what she's working on with her nutrition. Here she is.
Can you see me? Can you? Oh my God, am I even visible?
Yeah, just you can move your phone a little bit so we can see your face.
Oh God,
but we can see you on Facebook.
All right, okay. I'll see what I can do here.
I've made the poor Academy athletes get really tech savvy with me, and we're going live on Facebook and Instagram at the same time because, you know, why not? Why can't we do that?
Yeah. Sorry, I'll just try and sort myself out here as we do on the go. And I'll be like looking in this camera and that camera and this camera and that camera. Yep. It'll be all weird. It'll be like there's heaps of people here.
Lena says hi. Thank you for joining us, Lena.
Hello.
So let's dive straight in though, because you've got sick kids at home. I've got sick kids at home. Let's just do this. Trying to juggle all the things.
We'll do our best.
We'll do our best. And that's all that we can do, right? That's all we ask. Like, we are honestly multitasking to the max at the moment. And that is just what we do sometimes. And that's okay. So you have just finished phase 3 of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy program, and you've been doing triathlon for 20 years. Ish?
No, 30 years. Yes, 30 years. Look at me. I'm still looking very fresh.
So 30 years of doing triathlon. You've done 17 Ironman distance events, soon to be 18. And this is the first time that you've actually stopped and worked on your nutrition with a professional. Is that correct?
Yep. So before that, I did a bit of winging it and a bit more winging it and having 2 breakfasts before an Ironman. And I did dabble in the low carb thing, but was ill-advised and that went badly. So, I think I've found my people.
I'm sorry it took you 30 years to get there. One of the things that people do tell me is like, I wish I did this earlier. Like, yes, it is an investment in time and in money, but there's nobody that's not been through the program that's like, I honestly just should have done this way before. Like, why did I wait so long to actually do that? So do you have any advice for somebody that has maybe been around the traps a little while, has been doing triathlon for a while, thinks maybe they've got it sorted? Any advice for those sorts of people about actually doing the academy program and working on nutrition in an evidence-based way?
Yeah, well, I think, yes, definitely. You've got to find a person or, some education that's actually real. Like on, Instagram and Facebook, you just get bombarded with so much stuff, and then you might see, oh, that athlete looks good, oh, I'm going to follow what they do, and it's all just advertising and marketing and a bit of BS most of the time. So the first time I spoke to Taryn on the tea and morning tea chat thing, and
coffee and questions.
That's the thing. I knew it had some fancy ring to it, but I couldn't quite get there. And I'm typing all these questions. Oh, what about tart cherry juice? What about this? What about that? And you're just like going, oh God. And,
multivitamins and this other supplement and this thing. I'm like, Leanne, what are you doing?
Exactly. That's what I was doing. Like, I think I've got more money than sense, and I'm just like, here, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. And so if I had just gone for the good investment on the first go, it would have been heaps better. I know that the last podcast was really hit home with that fact that, it's a bit big and scary investing in a education course that goes for 9 months. But, in the end, it's just been awesome. And I was thinking this morning, like, I'm not like your A student, but the best thing that I have found is, I think, because I'm sorting out the, before training, during training, after training things, the kids have been like coughing in my face for months and I have not got sick. So this is like a revelation to me, because in the last like 3 years, the kids have been, starting school, daycare, and like I'd be having a cold or some funny thing, even like every 2 weeks it was. And I found that, I haven't had that this year. Like the kids have been getting sick, and, I'm on the track to go to Kona, and I'm just thinking, oh God, when's it going to hit me? When's it going to hit me? When am I going to be sick for 6 weeks, or something like that? But I haven't been sick at all, pretty much this year, apart from the COVID during Ironman New Zealand. That's the only time I've been sick. And even then it was kind of like a bad cold for about a week, and then I was all right. So I'm like,
that's really awesome.
Yeah. And I think it's just the recovery thing. I've really been, even if it's just, grabbing one of those little poppers with the carbs and protein, I think that's made all like the world of difference. Just, a few simple things that I've been doing. But yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. That's huge that you haven't been sick, because like honestly, like 3 little kids, you get like all the bugs thrown at you, and you're likely to just pick up all the weird and wonderful things. Thanks, kids.
Yeah. Yes.
But if you haven't been sick since like having COVID back in February or March, that's amazing.
Yep. And I've had, the term goes for 10 weeks, and I reckon I had kids home, 1 or 2 or 3 kids home every day, apart from the last 2 weeks of school. And now the term's just started, and I've got 2 home, and one's had influenza B, and blah, but I'm still standing.
And you're still doing Ironman training, and you're still turning up live on Instagram and Facebook for me. What a legend.
I know. I'm just waiting for a little pitter-patter interruption, but we'll deal with that when it comes.
And that's totally fine if they do. That does happen. So, okay, huge benefit that we haven't talked about that. So I'm really glad that you haven't got sick, because that is huge. And that's testament to your nutrition on a day-to-day basis too. Like you're actually eating properly and fueling your training now, which means that you're not in low energy availability, which is a spectrum. It's not like you are or you aren't. It is a spectrum. But it means that you're finally not there, or you've nudged up the other end of the green end of the spectrum a little bit further, which is good, where your immune system is much more robust and you're more resilient and less injury prone, which is excellent, Leanne. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I am a bit injury prone at the moment, but that hasn't got anything to do with my nutrition. But
it's falling over.
Yeah, just bad biomechanics. Anyway, that's another story.
So what are the things that you've been working on with your nutrition for Kona this year? Because this Kona is going to look very different to any Ironman like distance event that you've done in the past. You've got all of the academy knowledge under your belt now. So what are some of the key things that you're working on to set Kona up for success in, what are we, October?
Yeah.
A few months' time.
3 months. Oh. So Kona is, obviously it's an Ironman, but it's like hot and humid. So there's that extra layer of difficulty to take on. So first of all, what I haven't done before is just try to get a certain amount of carbohydrates per hour during the bike. You can't really do it on the swim, but on the bike. And, your tummy has to get used to that. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to have, 100 grams of carbohydrates in an hour and just go wham, and you'll get a sore tummy. So I've been trying to increase what I'm doing. So I kind of went up to a certain number, and I thought, I'm not really enjoying this. It's not quite right. So I went down a bit, and then I'm just staying down at that level until maybe a few more weeks, and then I'll try and increase it again, so that I don't get an upset tummy or that feeling of sickness. I find that everything that is a carbohydrate on the market really is super sweet, and I am a bit of a sweet tooth, but like it's going to the extreme now. So I just got to work out what products are good, and like I'm not really that fussy. I can take any product and it usually is fine with me. It's really just like the intense flavors of things that I've been trying. So, it's also like, is it going to be a drink? Is it going to be a gel? Is it going to be food? Is it going to be a chew? Like there's so many things now. And back when I started, there was just one thing called a lip and squeezy. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. That was the only thing that you could get. And it was like, when you buy a Zupa Duper, it was like in a packet like that. And it just tasted disgusting. And so there's a world of products now, which is also a bit fraught with not danger, but there's so much stuff, and you really got to know what is in it and what's the best, because sometimes all you need is the basic thing. A $2 gel versus a $6 gel does exactly the same thing, but just because old mate who's the world champion's using it doesn't mean that it's going to make me any better than the $2 gel. So I'm all about the economics and the thrifty. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to train my gut. That's the big thing at the moment.
Okay, I love that you said that about and Chris is laughing on Instagram. It's so true, because we do look to the pros, like we look up to them, and we want to take what they're doing and apply that to us. But we need to remember that the pros are doing the sprinkles on the icing on the cake. Like they are at the 1%er level, and they're sponsored, they're paid to use that product, right? Because that's right. That's going to be good for that product's marketing, but it doesn't mean you necessarily need to do it. And if you haven't listened to it yet, one of my favorite episodes with Chris, who's on Insta, and Kelly.
Hi, guys.
Episode 101 of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy podcast. Those boys blew my mind with how much money they're saving on stuff as a result of joining the academy program, because they're a bit the same, like taking Chris is like, it's me. They were taking all these things that you just don't need, but they didn't understand like what it is that's important. And that's something we do talk a lot about in the academy program, is like, what is multiple transportable carbohydrates, and what the heck does that mean, and when is that important, and how much do you need, and what's the ratio like, and what are we looking for in our products, so that I can fast track you through all of that research, and you use the stuff that is like evidence-based. It's what you actually need at that time, and you can throw away don't throw it away, because that's a waste of money, but use it up until it's gone, and then don't buy it again for stuff that you don't need, because it is honestly a minefield out there, and it's really hard to decipher what is going to be good and what's beneficial. And you just take all this stuff and think that it'll make you a better athlete, when at the end of the day it doesn't.
That's it. I've got buckets of stuff there that's just sitting there going off.
Well, just use it in your training. Use it in your training sessions now. You got 3 months. You can start, like, because you've got iron guts, just use it up. Don't waste it. I'm very frugal. I don't want you to throw things in the bin or gift it to someone.
The kids like making potions. I don't know if your kids are old enough to do that, but they just crush stuff up and mix it together. They get dirt and plants and chalk and paint, and maybe I'll give them that little mortar and pestle thing, and they can be little chemists or something, as long as they don't take it.
Throw some Morton gels in there for them. That's an expensive potion.
Oh, no, I won't be doing that. Oh dear.
So you've done triathlon for 30 years. You're about to do your 18th Ironman, and nutrition is something that you've been really focusing on at the moment. And the other thing that you're focusing on is like some heat acclimation, heat adaptation stuff for Kona,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
What are you hoping to achieve at Kona? Like, can you share your big, hairy, audacious goals with us, or you don't
Uh,
want to?
oh, I don't really mind. I've got an injury, so in a way, it takes away a bit of the expectation and pressure, which is funny to say. I've got a torn plantar fascia, and I had another one yesterday, a PRP injection, and there's not much progress going on. So if I do, I'm going for a PB on the swim, because I've got a lot better at swimming the last few months because I've been swimming more. And if I can get on, do the bike in a reasonable time, like you could never really go for a full PB at Kona because of
Yep.
the extra layer of difficulty. But if I can bike well, and when I did Ironman New Zealand with the COVID, I walked the whole thing, and I still had 20 minutes to spare. So I'm going to finish. There's no way I'll never ever finish an Ironman. I've never had a DNF in any race except the little local sprint where I rolled my ankle at the golf course where they, run around the holes. But no, I just want to get through the swim and the bike feeling good. If I'm definitely running off the cards, I'm going to go a little bit harder on the bike than I normally would. But otherwise, if I can just run a bit and walk a bit, run a bit, just depending on what the foot's up to, that's my goal. So see what happens. I can see a few little comments coming there. Smash it on the bike. Yeah, go. Thanks, Nikki.
Yeah.
I think
Legend.
she's done more Ironmans than me, I think, my friend Nikki. So there you go.
There you go. And so, what's the greatest thing that you've learned over the last 9 months then that's going to set you up for success at Kona? Can you pick one thing, or is there a couple?
I definitely, the carb loading, like that was a bit of an eye opener. I haven't put that to the full test, but definitely I did it for New Zealand, but then obviously I was sick. But before I went through the academy, I'm not going to give away all the secrets, of course.
Thank you.
Don't tell anyone. I used to just have, like 2 breakfasts and 2 lunches and 2 dinners, and then I'd go have my, normal breakfast that I normally have. But there's a lot more that you can do to optimize your carbohydrate stores before the big day. So yeah, that's been probably the main thing for racing. But yeah, the thing that I've benefited the most from is the nutrition, like before, during, and after training sessions. Just the, real easy things that you can do right then and there. And Bob's your uncle. You don't get sick every 5 minutes, and you don't feel smashed. Like I go and do a training session that might last for, 5 or 6 hours. And in the past, I'd just be sitting on the tiles drinking cans of Coke. But now it's like, oh, quick, I've got to go to work now. Or, there's always something coming up. I never get to sit down and do nothing, but at least I'm not completely knackered from that big session.
I'm not actually
how
sure
many
who
things
that
was
is.
that?
Oh,
was that
carb
3
loading?
things? Oh, it was like carb loading.
Pre and post training.
Yeah, 2 things.
Someone said yes, 100%. Oh, that's Chris, who's now flipped over to Facebook. Are you on both methods, Chris? Oh no, it's hard. I'm looking at 2 cameras. It's so cool. I can hear little people in the background, so I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I've also got to go home to vomiting a little kid also. Good times. It always happens at the same time. But we do have doors open for the academy right now. They close on Sunday morning at 8 my time, which is Saturday afternoon, evening if you are in the US or Canada. and I'm not opening them again until January 2024. So do you have any advice for someone that's been like watching along all week and they're like, do I, don't I, or it's a bit scary, should I commit? What would you say, Leanne?
I'd say just do it. Like, I sat on the fence for ages. Like, the first time I came, my one of my friends is friends with Taryn. It's a small world. And she's like, oh, check this out. This would be good for you. And I was like, ain't nobody got time for that. And that was about 6 months before. Then I don't know how I came across it then. And then I joined up, and I was in the car with Kim, and I was listening, and she's like, oh, that's the thing I told you about. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, well, there you go. I'm on it. So you just got to just do it. It's so worth it. And if any of my friends are on there listening and they want to join, get in touch with me, because I will put you in touch with Taryn, and it'll be like a little what do you call it? A collab. That's the new thing now, the little X, and you collaborate. So, yeah, it's a referral. So, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, you definitely should do it. I guess I get that from people as well. Like, I really want to do it, and it sounds perfect for me, and it's all the things, but I don't have time. And you'll never have time, right? Like, you're a triathlete. Like, you're never going to have time, but you just got to make time. You just have to lay your priorities a little bit differently for 9 months so that you can commit to working on it once. And I think that's really important as well. Like, that we just do this once. Like, I'm going to set you up with everything that you need to know once. It's not an ongoing, you have to do this forever like thing. I'm going to give you all the tools and resources so that you can manage this stuff forever, which is really powerful.
That's it. And I found that like listening to the lectures, just do that when you're training. So it's like 2 birds with 1 stone. And was that the saying? Yeah, I thought I got that around the wrong road. 2 stones, 1 bird, something. Anyway, I always, in the car when I'm like if I am working and I'm driving around a bit, I just put it on, and you might get 5 or 10 minutes at a time, but it's certainly you can, and the things that really interest you, you're going to dive into it deeper. Like, some of the stuff I didn't really worry too much about, like the sprint distance stuff. That's not for me.
Too fast to bother about.
Yeah. Too hard. The intensity. I'm a low intensity person. So, and then the time that you meet up in live in person. I really looked forward to it. You just put it in your diary like an appointment, and then you're there, and you can still even do things while you're doing that. As you would know, you've seen us all sweating or cooking or
washing,
holding the guinea pigs, that sort of stuff. So
sorting out the
guy. The scuba diver. So it sounds like a lot, but you just slot it in like you do with everything else. And the people that I've met through the Triathlon Nutrition Academy, we're all friends, and we've made a secret group without you. And
have you?
We just talk to each other about Vegemite and all sorts of things. So, and it's a bit of a joke. Like, during the day, there's the girls all chatting about stuff, and then we're thinking, oh, God, when the people who are asleep are going to come on, they're going to be going, whoa, what's going on? So, I
love that you have a secret group without me.
Yeah. It's not because we don't love you. It's because we don't want to bother you. You'd just be like, oh, God, they're just talking about stupid stuff. It's not always triathlon stuff either. So, we don't
totally
mean
fine
to exclude you, but I don't think you would have time for us.
Of course I would have time. I love you guys. We have our Power Hour structure runs. We've got 8 weeks on and then 4 weeks off. As each phase goes through, just to give you some time to adapt, just like we need to adapt from training, we have some recovery. We do that in our phases as well, just so that I don't bombard you and overwhelm you with all the stuff. I really want you to cement and action what we're doing before we go on to the next. And I miss you guys in those 4 weeks off. Like, honestly, Everyone gets so invested in like what everyone's doing on a weekly basis, like and what races we've got coming up, and everyone's on the tracker watching how everyone goes. So it is a beautiful little community of triathletes all over the world that you get to connect with. And like, I don't know if I should say this, but we don't have any idiots. Everyone's really cool.
Oh dear. Well, maybe they stop being an idiot when they start learning something.
That's my very like direct Australian way. But yeah, everyone is really cool, and I love that you guys connect together. And like, you've even offered to send people Vegemite over to the US, and they're going to send you some Gatorade Endurance, and like, it's just a love fest.
I found this product. I posted it on the Facebook page, the brownies with Vegemite. So I'm going to make those soon and do a little taste test and let you all know what it's like. It sounds strange anyway. Watch
sounds
this
good.
Space.
It could be good. They do try and do Vegemite. They did like a Vegemite chocolate block at one point, do you remember? And it had kind of good legs. You'd think it might be a bit salty caramel, but I don't think it lasted for very long. It was very much limited edition.
Yeah. Well, these Vegemite brownies were on half price, so maybe they're on the way out.
Maybe there's a reason they were on special.
Yeah.
But they could be good on the bike for your long training rides. Salty, carby goodness.
I think they'll get a bit gooey, and then you like got it on your hands and you're like, where do I put this hand now?
Yeah. There's nothing worse than sticky fingers when you're trying to race.
Oh dear.
All right, Lee, I'll let you go. We've both got kids to sort out, but thank you so much for joining me live and just sharing a little bit about what you're up to as you head towards Kona. As somebody that's done a lot of full distance races before, like there's probably not a lot of people that are going to resonate with you, to be honest. There's not many people that have done this many Ironmans.
But I love helping out too. Like I know I've done a lot, and I've done a lot of things right and a lot of things wrong, and it's nice to be able to share that. And I guess that's the same with you. You can share what you know, and that helps.
Absolutely. And like, it's just testament that like, if you want to do 17 Ironmans and do all the things, like you juggle a lot of balls, you've got a lot going on, you're very, very busy, you can still fit nutrition learning into that time. And I love watching you on Power Hours because you're always doing something. You're like a bit like me, you can't sit still, but you're always like folding washing or cooking dinner or sorting out the pool guy or doing your training session. And that is A-okay with us. You don't have to sit down and be formal. We're very much like, it's a very casual environment so that you're comfortable asking what you want to ask as well. Like there's no stupid questions. In fact, there's a burpee penalty if you apologize for asking a question, because it's no holds barred. Like, we talk about the topic that we're doing that week, but we also go on completely random tangents. And like, even your group, all the Americans tried Vegemite for the first time on Power Hour.
It was interesting. They wanted to love it. They wanted to, but it's just, that the moment that it hits, it's like, oh God, what have I done?
And also when you think about what Vegemite tastes like I would eat it, but not actually think really deeply about the flavor profile on things like that. But if you're tasting it for the first time, you do, and it is an intense flavor. I'm not going to lie, but I think we've got Kelly online on Facebook still, and he is a convert. He's going to use some Vegemite in his upcoming Ironman event, which is pretty cool. The boys are online. Chris and Kelly are both online, I think, commenting on Facebook. All right, I'll drop the link for the academy program. It's dietitianapproved.com/academy if you do want to come and join us.
And if you're my friend, contact me and I'll put you on to Taryn. This is the collab.
Deal.
Yeah.
The collab. We're doing a sick collab.
Fully sick.
But thank you for giving me a bit of your time, Lee. I know you've got a lot going on, and just proof that you can make time to work on your nutrition if you prioritize it. I think that's really important, because it is just a priority list thing. Like, yes, you're time poor, but you can find the time if it is actually something that you want to do. If it's not something you don't want to do, then you won't find the time. But if it is something that you do want to focus on for a period of time, then you will make it work, because the benefits that you get are huge, as Lee will show you at Kona, despite being injured.
I'm going for the party.
Yeah, the
my
pasta
friends
party.
are coming, not my family.
Yes. We need to get you over there for a couple of weeks for a proper break.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that part.
Yeah. Amazing. And any questions, please send us a message, and Lee's always happy to answer and field questions about her experience doing a million Ironman distance events as well. And then tomorrow I'll jump on live with Christine on Facebook only, one of our athletes in the US. She's not on Instagram. Total weirdo. No, just joking.
She's too busy. She's even busier than me, I think.
I think she's just anti-Insta, which I totally understand. But yeah, thank you so much, Lee. And yeah, thank you to everyone that's still watching live. I think it's probably just Academy Athletes on Facebook at the moment. We've got Chris and Kelly watching along because they miss you, Lee. They miss our power hour sessions. But our supercharged squad, we start again next week.
Yeah, I got to join. Don't knock me out if I forget to join.
Oh, there's a time limit. Limit.
No.
All right, Lee, I'll see you next week. And see you boys if you're still watching. And thank you to anyone else that jumped us on live or is watching the replay. Send me a comment or send me a DM if you have any questions.
Okay.
Bye.